Hey guys, Blackwatch here. Last video I covered the Focus app on iOS, and it's one of my primary tools for staying focused that helps me gain consistency in the market. Another tool that I use that helps me kind of track that data so I can prolong that is using Notion. In the last video I had quite a few people and a lot of DMs about that Notion template. So today I'm going to cover how I journal my trades through Notion. I'll show you guys how to build a template. And then if you guys want the template, if you want this exact one with all the GIFs and whatever else, I'll link it down below. But I'll show you the bare bones how to do it, and then you can set it up yourself. So I think a lot of you guys have probably heard this already, and we try to beat it into you at Phantom, but journaling your trades is probably one of the most important things that you can do. You want to understand where your pain points are, where your good behaviors are, so where your mistakes, your bad habits, your good habits. All this is going to be recorded through your journaling. You want to understand what you're doing well when you're doing well, and what you're doing poorly when you're doing it poorly. So gathering all this data should, in theory, help you over a long period of time gain a bit of consistency. Maybe you don't do well after 12 p.m. on any given day, or maybe 80% of your winning trades are Monday through Wednesday between New York Open and the London overlap, right? So all this data needs to be gathered in some way, some shape or form. It's important to understand what data speaks to you the most, so that way you can use that data to your benefit. One thing that we do at Phantom is we suggest that our traders who are still learning, and even if you're not still learning, if you're trading live, to do your end of day markups. What this does is it's a quick and easy way to make sure that your edge stays sharp over the longevity of your career, essentially. It's better to do it at the end of day, hence end of day markup. So New York close, or maybe at night when the markets slow down a little bit. You basically want to go in and find the setups that would have fit your plan for each day, or if you're a swing trader, each week. You want to find a way to just record that data and build confidence in that edge, right? There's a couple ways that you can backtest, but backtesting, you can do it through bar replay, you can do it through case studies. Case studies are more like end of day markups, maybe just a little bit heavier on the annotations. And then you have something like simulation trading. The way I backtest at this point, because I've already reached a level of consistency that I don't necessarily need to study the complexities of the market, I'm just going in to keep that consistency, that edge sharp. I mark up my end of day sessions, and then I log them into this Notion. If I take a trade, I'll log it into the P&L calendar, and then yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to run to this PC here, and I'm going to show you guys what I do on a daily basis or weekly basis, depending on what I have time for. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dig into this Notion template. Remember, this is something that you want to use on a daily basis. Keep it open on your other monitor or on your iPad or phone, somewhere that you can easily access it so you don't kind of lose track of it. Because one thing that's important about journaling in general, you want to keep up with it, right? You don't want it to pile up. You don't want to have to do end of day markups at the end of the week and then find yourself in a situation where you've got to do like a week's worth, 2 weeks worth. At that point, that's typically when journaling starts to fall off. So stay on track, stay on top of it, make sure that you get it done. It doesn't take very much time, and hopefully something like this will kind of help you organize it and make it a little bit easier for you. When we go through this, try to copy it the best you can. I'll link mine in the description below for you guys to download if you want. And then if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and then we'll go from there. And by the way, if you guys aren't from Phantom and you're actually just coming in from the outside, leave a comment below so that way I can see who you guys are, where you guys are coming from, and the best ways that I can help you going forward. So I'll go ahead and open up Notion. Now, this is the way I have it set up. I have it set up in a way that's quick and easy for me. On the left, what you'll see this is my profit and loss calendar. This is what I use for marking up live trades. On the right here, I have just my end of day markups. So I'll have a section for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. Right? And what I'll do is when I fill out these markups, I'll just check this box to say it's completed. So that way, if I say, for instance, I'm out of the house on Tuesday and I don't have time to do it, but I've done Wednesday, Thursday, it's Friday now, I can look back and easily see that oh, I forgot to do Tuesday this week. I need to go back and I need to get this done. So I'll go in here, I'll do my end of day markups, and then we'll fill it out. Now, the cool thing about this is that for these end of day markups is that I have it built on a template, meaning this is just a generic week, right? It could be this week, it could be next week, January 1st, the week of, whatever, right? What I do when I'm done with this week and I've now finished it out, I'll just collapse this, I'll take it, and I will just move it into the archive section here. So if we look, there's a little archive piece, and you'll see it just dropped the week right in here. I'll just go in here, I'll find the current week. I'm gonna say it's the second week of March, and then I'll just go ahead and drag this in right there. And then here you'll have your end of day markups for this particular week. So now what you can do is if you want to go back, let's say you're in a position where you're still learning your edge and you're trying to figure out the best way to approach your trading, right? You can log months of data within this archive, and then you can just go back as far as you need to and go back and study these end of day markups, right? And this is a way that I kind of go back and reflect on previous data to say, I wonder how I did last January, right, compared to this January, or last March compared to this March. I can go back and kind of see what's changed in my trading. Is it still holding true that I don't necessarily do well in November's, or have I seemed to improve from last November, right? Now again, this isn't like the best journaling tool in the world. It's not automated or anything like that. It's purely manual, but there is something to be said about manually logging this data, right? It's gonna ingrain it in your brain just a little bit more. If you wanted to duplicate this, for instance, like this, you needed a new year, something, you just go in, you just change that to 2026, right? And then you've got a full catalog of archives for your end of day markups. Now, one thing that's also in here, I just do this just in case I break something. I have this, it's a new week template. It's a backup. Just in case I break the other one, I can just throw this one in there. And then I've got some of the pixel art in here just so I can mix and match it, change it up if I want to. So we'll go back to the trading one. Now again, I've archived this. Now I have this on a template. All I have to do is just click this and it will load an entire week for me, completely blank. And then I can just go through it again, right? Now what we'll do is we'll look at this and we'll say, all right, what does it look like inside? In here, I just have the date. So you want to mark it up as today. You can say what pair you're doing. You can do GU. Is it multi-select? It's just single select. You can also change this. You can adjust the template. I'll show you how to do that. But you can change the template to do something like multi-select, where you can add multiple pairs, multiple markups, whatever. I personally just trade GU, so I do tend to just have one on here. Right, we can say, well, we haven't completed it yet, but we'd go in and we can drop down the higher time frame markups, and it'll just give you this kind of gallery view. And the gallery view will show you the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the H4. And just click in, and what you would do is you'd go to Trading View, and you would just add your Trading View screenshot, right? And then what you can do from there is you can do your weekly, daily, H4, etc. Now what we'll do is we'll go back to here, right? And you have the mid time frame, which we would consider the H1 or the M15. And then you have the lower time frame markups, which would be the M5 or the M1, typically your entry time frames. And then any comments that you might have on this. So like, for instance, like today was particularly rangy. Why? Maybe we had FOMC at 1 p.m. and prior price action was just building liquidity for FOMC to kind of utilize for a sustained move to the upside, right? But again, we can say that we completed this. And what you'll see here is that we've added in this data, right? So you can say the date, the pair, and whatever, right? So as you edit it, it will show this in a quick view. And then again, you can collapse this, you can open this, whatever. Now, another thing is because I have this open pretty much every day, all day, just on my other monitor, this is something that I am using to kind of keep my tasks on track. A lot of you guys know I use the Focus app on my phone to make sure that when I am working on a specific task, I'm not distracted by notifications or anything like that. I also use the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is essentially using this timer here. I mean, it's using any timer. You can use a timer on your phone, but I just use this physical device. Now, alongside that, what I do every night or morning, depending on if I have time at night or whatever, is that I will focus on 3 main things that I want to get done during the day. Now, I have quite a bit on my plate. I have various projects. I have Phantom, I have a family, I coach my daughter's soccer team. There's a lot of stuff going on. As long as I can get 3 main things done in a day, I'm happy. And then I can just go on to the next day, figure out what those next 3 things are. So I use this area right here just to mark out what that is. Just a quick, brief overview of what that is. Now, it could be anything. It could be work related, personal related. It could be anything, right? It doesn't have to be trading related. It could be trading related, right? Don't forget to do your end of day markups. Go give your wife some love, whatever, right? And it doesn't have to be big tasks. It doesn't have to be small tasks. It's just 3 things that you know that you need to get done. Now, the trick is when you have something that you don't necessarily want to do it first, right? That's typically the best way to do it, because if it's something that you don't want to do, but you have to do it, but you don't do it, it's just going to spill into the next day. And that next day may have some other task that you don't necessarily want to do. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you have 5 things that are extremely difficult or challenging or just consume a lot of your focus pile up on you. You don't want that, right? So you want to take care of those things first thing in the morning. Another thing is I have in here, I just keep like a quick entry model, right? This is basically how I trade. This is how we trade at Phantom. It's blurred out, sorry. If you want to see this, you got to join Phantom, but we utilize things like supply and demand, structure, liquidity concepts, and just understanding how the market works from one leg to another leg, bullish, bearish, and then looking for interactions between supply and demand, and then looking for an entry from there. So if you want to learn more about it, again, link in the description below. I'll link how to join Phantom, and then yeah, we can teach you all about it. Now again, what I have in here is just my various chart color themes, just because a lot of people seem to really like them. I don't know, that's also going to be linked in the description below. If you want access to those, you'll find that alongside of this specific Notion template. And then of course, last but not least, my live P&L trading journal. I basically just use this to say, if I take a trade, I'll log it in here. This is a copied template from the other week, but I will essentially go in here, right? And let's say it's a new day, right? I'll go in, I'll hit the plus symbol. Now it'll just show as a blank chart, but it'll have all of these, I think they're just called fields or tags or whatever they're called. They're in here automatically because once you build one out, it will then just replicate to all these other ones. Now the trick for me, once you've opened this up, is that I've built another template. So if I click on this, it'll say trades, it'll load in this nice image here, and then it will load in these pre-built markup galleries, kind of like the end of day markup ones. So this you'll see again, higher time frame, mid time frame, lower time frame, MT4 screenshots, and then you have comments, right? MT4 markups, I like to just post in here for myself because, you know, sometimes on TradingView, you might have a very specific entry point, but in reality, you've hit mark execute and you didn't quite get that fill, right? Maybe it filled a little bit lower, maybe volatility was in your favor, maybe it got filled a little bit better. I just like having that data intact. It's not necessarily like super useful unless you're like your entry is actually very far away from where you anticipated entering from. You know, data like that might tell you I need to be a little bit better about my market executions. I need to hit that a little bit harder, or perhaps maybe you need to start using limit orders, something like that, right? You kind of build that data around your execution, right? Because you have analysis and then you have an execution, and if your execution, you're like actual hitting the buy or sell button is not very quick, or there's that slight hesitation. The way we trade, if price hits a specific POI that we anticipate giving a big reaction, if you wait just a little bit, you're going to get a pretty bad fill. So keep that in mind, right? That's just extra data for you to gather, right? Now the cool thing here is, again, you can just say, you know, GBP USD, right? And then you can say maybe you made 5%, oops, right? And then what you can say is just select the pair that you trade. Now this is a formula. It's all calculated in here. I can show you that formula. And then we have profit and loss, right? So this is just a manual thing. So if it's at 0, you're broken even. If it's at +1, this changes to profit. If you go into -1, it'll change it to loss, right? So we'll just leave it at -1 for now. And this, again, this is another formula. It's based on the risk percent that you've put in and the total R that you've actualized on the trade. So let's say you risked 1%, and then let's say you made 2R, right? So this would be whatever, $2, right? You can put the actual amount that you made. Again, it's not the most advanced thing in the world, but for this purpose, it's all I really need, right? It's just a quick glance, and you can see, like, from a monthly perspective, you know, how did you do? Like, okay, I made profit on Tuesday. This week I took a small loss. I haven't traded since. For the week, I've done very well. For the month, there's still some more time to go, right? You know, one of the things that traders tend to do, especially the way we trade, a lot of people tend to focus on the day-to-day trading, right? But we have to remember that this is a long-term game, and you need to assess yourself based on your weekly performance, your monthly performance, your quarterly performance, and then your annually performance. Day by day, just it's not going to get you where you want to go, right? You might do really well today. You might do really poor the next 3 days, right? You might do really poor the next week or two, but then in the last week of the month, you've done really well, right? You want to assess yourself based on your overall consistency and profitability over longer periods of time. Day by day, you're more or less just asking for trouble, because, you know, if you took a loss today and you take a winner tomorrow and then you take another couple losses, you might want to make that money up, right? You're not thinking about your overall equity over a longer period of time. You're looking at something like, I lost $1,000 yesterday. I need to make that grand back today. It's like, yeah, but you made $5,000 on Monday. You lost $1,000. You're up 4. You're doing okay. You know what I mean? So having this P&L calendar for me is just, it's peace of mind. It allows me to have a quick glance at this calendar and say, ah man, I had a really bad day today and yesterday. But then I can quickly look at this and say, well, last week I was up X amount, or I did really well the days before that. So it's not really that big a deal. So keep that in mind. It's just something to, again, quickly glance at, understand what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong in terms of your profitability. Then you can go in, you can analyze the data that you've collected from week by week, month by month. You can send it to your archives. That way, if you want to check out how you did last year, it's just really convenient, right? And again, it's not the most advanced thing in the world, but in terms of being aesthetically pleasing, being just simple, right? It's easy to do your journaling if it's a little bit more simple. If things are complicated, like, or just boring in general, like you're just using an Excel sheet or Google spreadsheets or something like that, over time it gets mundane and it becomes a chore and you just don't want to do it. But I find using something like this on Notion has kind of helped me stay on track. You know, sometimes I'll fall behind by a day or two and I'll just go back and do them real quick. But all right, so what we'll do now is we're going to go ahead and just build one of these out real quick. We'll look at how we make the calendar and how we make this end of day markup section. The rest of this is pretty easy. So if we go down and just do it at the bottom here, right? So if you do /, you can start typing in what you want. So you can do calendar. We'll do calendar view. Just click a new database, right? And then it will open up this calendar view for you. And you can just type in here, P&L calendar, right? And then that's pretty much it. Super simple. Now what you want to do is you want to build a template, right? So you're going to click this plus button, or any plus button, doesn't really matter, right? And then you're going to go ahead and say create a template. So we're going to create a template. Now what it says is you're editing in a template. This means anything that you add to this, when you click out of it and save it, and you go hit the plus button on another day, it will show you down here, as it did in mine, whatever you name the template. So we'll just go ahead and just name this template, and then we'll add a property, right? So we'll do a tag. We can leave the date, that's fine, right? And we'll leave the tag, we'll say prepare And what we can do is if you click on this, you can choose what it's going to be. So multi-select, if you want to choose multiple pairs, potentially you just trade one pair, maybe you trade more than one pair. We'll just do multi-select for now. And you can go in here and you can start filling stuff out. So you want to create it. So you do GBP USD, hit enter. We'll do AUD USD, enter, Euro USD, enter, right? And then what you can do is if you want to take any of these off or change the color, like for instance, these are both yellow for some reason. We'll change the color on this one to blue, right? And just change the colors, easy peasy. If you want to clear any of these out, there's a little X, hit the X, right? Done. Now this property, what we want to do is we want to say percent earned or gained or lost. And then what I'll do is I'll just add it somewhere in here. Here, there, probably right there. I'll add it there. I'll add the formula for you because I can't remember it, and without going out of here I can't show you. So I'll share that with you guys as well. Right, and you're just going to fill this out however you want, whatever is relevant to you. If you have multiple setups, if you want to put in here that, you know, the trade was a long or a short, if you want to put in here the percent that you earned or lost, if you want to put in here how you were feeling that day. I know a lot of people like to put in what their emotional state was when they were trading to kind of log that information. All valuable stuff. It's whatever you want. And then from here, what we want to do is we want to add a gallery. So we're going to do / gallery view, and we're going to say new database again because we don't have one, right? Now the way I have it in the other one is I have, if you / in the empty space and say toggle, you can say toggle heading 1, right? And you can say higher time frame markups, whatever, right? And then what we can do is we can just take this gallery and just drag it right into here. So that way when you open it, it shows it like this, right? You can title this whatever, higher time frame. You can go into here, clear this out, type in, you know, daily time frame, etc. I think you get the idea, right? Open this as a page and we'll go back, right? So again, this is a template. So you just want to do this until you have all your other ones. And what you can do as a shortcut is you can just go here, hit duplicate, and then just rename it to mid time frame markups, duplicate it again, and do it to lower time frame entries, MT4, whatever, right? And just to GF for mid time frame, lower time frame. You know, again, this is based on how we trade at Phantom. You do it however you want. And then at the bottom, if you want to do like a comment section, you can again do toggle, and then maybe you want it smaller, maybe like heading 2, whatever, do comments. And then within this, you can click on here and you can type in quote. What I use is a quote block. There's no reason for this, but it's how I've got it set up. Now we have built that template. If you click on this, what you'll see template right here. You just go ahead, click this, and it will autofill all the stuff that you had, right? If you want to add a cover like I have, you just go add cover. That's a good one right there. What kind of dog is that? What am I looking at? Oh, one mistake that I just made is that I didn't edit this in the template. So what I just did was it was just affecting just this one that I opened. If you want to change the template, I'll show you how to do that now. You hit plus, and then right here, all the way to the right, you'll see these ellipses. Click that, edit template, and now you can go ahead and add your cover and whatever, that's fine. You can add your icon, add a random one. Cool, fine, awesome, right? Click this. If we want to add a new one here, go to template, and you can see it adds the cover, right? So if you ever need to adjust your templates or anything like that, that's how you would do it. Okay, cool. So that's a P&L calendar. And then you want to add something like this, your end of day markups, right? Now it's basically the same exact thing, only there's no calendar view. You're just adding a gallery, building a template, and then that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do a template and you say new template button. So what you're going to do, you're going to just configure the template button. So what you're changing here is what the template is going to show you. So I'm going to say the button name. What should this button be called? I'm going to say end of day markups or end of day, whatever, and drop blocks here that you want to duplicate whenever the button is clicked. I want to do a gallery. I'm gonna do gallery view. I'm gonna say new database, and then I'm going to just say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right, and then we've run out, so we need to add more. So we just click out of here. So you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and one more for Friday. Right, and if you trade on the weekends, because you trade crypto or something, add the weekends, whatever. Okay, and then we'll just do end of day. All right, we'll just label it as such. And then, yeah, that's it. And then you hit close when you're done, right? So now what you can do is you hit end of day markups, and it will load your templates. You can drag this left and right. So for me, like for instance, I have everything a little bit smaller because I don't like them stacked on top of each other like this because I'm anal. This is uneven. I don't like that. So I just drag this out here like this. And then again, now for me, I have certain aspects of this showing. I want to adjust the template. So we're going to click on this, edit actions. I'm sorry, we're going to click on the cogwheel, configure template. All right. And then right next to gallery view, you're going to click on these right here, say edit. And then what you're going to say is you're going to say properties. You also have the layout. You're going to have card preview. It's going to show either page content, page cover, or none. I like to do the page cover so that way you can see, like, again, those GIFs up there. You can change your card size. You can do small or medium or large. It's not going to change very much because I've got this happening, but let's see if this changes it. Small, see, small, large, whatever. I'll just do medium, whatever. And then you can fit the image. If the image is too big or maybe too small, you can fit the image, that being your page cover. So we'll go back out here and you're going to go to properties and you want to say, okay, right now the only thing that's showing is the name. But I want it to show when I've added something, I want it to show the pair and I want to show the date and I want to show that kind of stuff, right? So what you do is you just click on the little eyeball right here to show it. And then it will show all this stuff. Cool. And you can add new properties from here, whatever. Once that's done, you can then lock the database so you don't make any accidental changes. Okay, so we'll just leave that unlocked for now. That's it, right? So we'll drag this back over. I want to make this so it does a toggle list, like this one's a toggle. So we'll do that. I'm just gonna copy this if it will let me. Delete. Do toggle list heading 1. Okay, markups. All right. Then we'll do this and we'll paste our gallery back in. Okay. So now. And I'll collapse that, right? Because that's what, when you click the button here, it will save it as something that's open or something that is collapsed, right? So we'll collapse it, we'll hit close. So now when I open this, click this, it should be a collapsed toggle with the end of day markups. Yeah, let's go on to the next thing. Let's open up an archive. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna click down here in some space. We'll just type in page, right? So we're going to turn it into a page and then we're going to click into it and just leave it empty, right? And then I'm just going to type in here, I'm going to say toggle list again, do heading 1, you can do just plain toggle list, whatever, and then just start doing your dates. Jan 2022, right? Feb 2022, so on and so forth. And you're going to open this up, click in here, say toggle again, toggle list, and you can say week 1. Oops. Week 2, week 3, week 4, right? And then a trick is, again, you can just get rid of that and just say, I'm gonna just duplicate this and then just change this name to Feb, right? And then it'll show all these again. So just do this until you have a full archive. And then again, what you'll do is you go back out to trading. You will then take your end of day markups that you've already done, right? And then you would just drag it right into your archives right here and then find the relevant week for you and then drag it right into there. All right. There might be some additional space. It's probably because this is a heading, toggle 1 heading. So it's got space above it. You just change it into something else. All right. And then there you go. So now you have Jan, week 1 markups. You can add week 2, go from there, right? Super easy. Again, I have my gallery set down, or my Notion template, in the link below. If you just want that, go ahead and grab that. Otherwise, you can build this out yourself. Totally up to you. This video is way too long, so that sucks. I didn't want it to be this long, so I'm gonna cut it down a little bit. Hopefully I can get the beef for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, journaling is very important to traders. It's your backbone, right? This is accumulating data so that way you can become who you want to be as a trader, right? Again, growing up as a kid, you're just continuously collecting data on what to do, what not to do, what's going to hurt, what's going to not hurt, and then just every cause and effect, right? It's the same thing with journaling. It's the same thing with studying. All these things need to be collected, all this data, so that way you can build confidence based on what you're doing. And it takes time, right? And if you can rewind time by looking back at previous markups, trades, journals, whatever it is, it's just gonna make life easier going forward. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like it, please like the video. If you loved it, go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, stay tuned for more content, and let me know what you thought in the comments. Take care.
Take a ride, catch a